Now we will study about the Mughal rule in India second phase, and the starting is from the Akbar from 1556 till 1605 CE. Sher Shah Suri lost his life accidentally in 1545. So Sher Shah Suri he lost his life in the year 1545. His successors were unable to sustain his empire. Taking advantage of this situation, Humayun recaptured Delhi and Agra in 1555 and re-established the Mughal rule in India. So, as his successors were very weak and they were not able to maintain the huge empire which was established by Sher Suri. So by taking this advantage, Humayun again recaptured the Delhi and Agra in 1556 and again he re-established the Mughal rule in India. Humayun died in 1556 due to injuries sustained after his fall from stairs of his library. So Humayun died in the year 1556. How? Because as he fall from the stairs of his library, or he had suffered many injuries due to this fall, and hence he died in the year 1556. After Humayun's death in 1556, his 13-year-old son Akbar was crowned king with Bairam Khan as regent. So after the Humayun's death, the successor of the Mughal Empire was the Akbar, and he was just 13 years old son, boy, okay, and he was crowned king and with the mentor, or you can say guardian, with the guardian with Bairam Khan. Akbar was born in 1542 at Amarkot when Humayun was in exile. So Akbar was born in the year 1542 in Amarkot when Humayun was away from the Amarkot. His accession to the throne gave Hemu, the general of the Afghan leader Adil Shah Sur, an opportunity to occupy Delhi and Agra. He assumed the title of Vikramaditya and became the master of the Delhi for a short period of time. So as Akbar was very small, okay, so by taking the advantage of this, he wanted to occupy the area of Delhi and Agra, okay, and very soon he assumed the title of Vikramaditya and became the master of the Delhi for a very short period of time. However, he was eventually defeated and killed by Bairam Khan in the second battle of Panipat in 1556. So though he captured the Delhi and Agra, okay, but it was for a very short period of time, okay, and he was defeated and killed by Bairam Khan, who is the guardian of Akbar, in the second battle of Panipat in 1556. Thus the Mughals reoccupied Delhi and Agra. So again, by killing the Adil Shah Sur, Bairam Khan and Akbar, they again reoccupy the Delhi and Agra. Akbar freed himself from Bairam Khan's guardianship and took the reign of the government in his own hand in 1560. So Akbar he freed himself from the Bairam Khan's guardianship. That means now no longer Bairam Khan will take the important decision of the Mughal Empire. Now Akbar is you can say strong enough to take the throne, okay, and to rule the Mughal Empire. So he took the responsibility as a king in the year 1560. Deprived of power, Bairam Khan was killed by an Afghan on his way to Makkah. So as all the powers of the Bairam Khan was taken by the Akbar, so he was killed by an Afghan when he was going to Makkah, which is in Saudi Arabia. After resolving internal issues, Akbar turned his attention towards territorial expansion of the empire. So after resolving the internal issues in his empire, his main focus was to expand his empire. Next, conquest. Soon Akbar extended his control over Malwa in 1561 CE, Narmada Valley and the northern region of the present day Madhya Pradesh, Jaunpur, Gujarat, Bengal, Ajmer, Ranthambore, Jodhpur, Bikaner and Jaisalmer. So these were the areas which he had captured in the year 1561 CE. In 1572 he occupied Ahmedabad and Surat. The conquest of Gujarat paved the way for the Mughals to gain control over maritime trade and commerce. So, as he captured the Gujarat, okay, the Mughals got the opportunity to use the you can say ports which were available in the Gujarat so that they can do their trade, that means business with other countries through sea route. The defeat of the Afghan ruler Daud Khan in 1576 in the Battle of Raj Mahal brought Bengal under Mughal control. So, as Akbar defeated Afghan ruler Daud Khan in 1576 in the Battle of Raj Mahal, so finally the Bengal was also under the Mughal control. By 1600 to 1601, Ahmednagar, Khandesh and Berar in the Deccan were occupied. So these areas were also occupied by Akbar. The Mughal Empire under Akbar extended from the Himalayas in the north to the Godavari River in the south and the Hind Kush mountain in the northwest to the river Brahmaputra in the east. So these are the areas which were captured by the Akbar. Relationship with the Rajputs. Akbar knew that the task of consolidating and strengthening his empire would never be complete without the support and loyalty of the belligerent Rajputs of Rajasthan. So Akbar, he knew that in order to make his army or make his empire more strength and more strong, he needs support and loyalty of the Rajputs of Rajasthan. He also understood the importance of Hindu-Muslim unity and cooperation in order to build an all-India empire. So he also understood that during his period there is not a healthy relation between Hindu and Muslim. So in order to make any empire work properly, there should be healthy relationship between Hindu and Muslim. So that's why he wanted to cooperate and have a unity with the uh, Rajput, so that he can build his empire in all the parts of the India. To build a strong relation with the Rajput, he followed a policy of matrimonial alliance towards the Rajput. So he got an idea that in order to make his strong relationship with the Rajputs, he can only done by the policy of matrimonial, that means marrying the daughter of the Rajput. He married to Harka Bai, popularly known as Jodha Bhai, daughter of Raja Bharmal of Amber, Jaipur, secured for him the crucial support of the powerful ruler of Amber. So finally he used the policy of matrimonial alliance and he married Raja Bharmal of Ajmer, daughter named as Harka Bhai, popularly known as Jodha Bhai. Okay, and finally he got the support of the Rajputs. He also formed matrimonial alliance with several other Rajput princesses. So he also married other Rajput princesses in order to make a strong relationship with the Rajputs. He assigned high posts to Rajput chiefs such as Raja Todarmal and Man Singh in the army and administration. So he not only married the daughters of the Rajput but also gave the you can say higher position in his empire, especially Raja Todamal and Man Singh in his army and his administration. He did not annex Rajput kingdom that accepted his suzerainty and paid regular tributes. So he did not capture the areas of the Rajput who had accepted his policies and who paid regular tributes or taxes to the Akbar. Following a policy of non-intervention in the internal matters of Rajput state, he abolished jizya and pilgrimage tax. So in order to make a healthy relation with the Rajput, he had abolished the jizya and pilgrimage tax which were collected by the earlier king or the emperor of the Mughals from the Hindus who go to the holy place in order to worship. Among all Rajput rulers of Rajasthan, Rana Uday Singh of Mewar did not accept this suzerainty of the Mughals and challenge Akbar. So there are many you can say king who had not accepted the policies of the Akbar. One of them is Raja Uday Singh, okay, and he did not accept the policy or the rules and regulation of the Akbar, and rather he challenged Akbar. The Chittor fort was captured in 1567, forcing Rana Uday Singh to move out. So finally Akbar he captured the Chittor fort in the 1567, and and finally Radha Uday Singh have to move out from this fort. Jaimal and Patta, the Rana's general, continued to fight bravely but were defeated. Rana Pratap, the son of Uday Singh, continued his father's zeal to safeguard his homeland. So after the when Raja Uday Singh he ran away, okay, his son he revolted against the Akbar. Okay, the name of the son is Rana Pratap, okay, and he was taking the you can say, or he was continuing the whatever his father has left. That means he wanted to defeat the Akbar. Though defeated in the Battle of Haldighati in 1576, he never accepted Akbar's suzerainty till he breathed his last. Okay, so he was just like his father. Though he was defeated in the Battle of Haldighati in 1576 by Akbar, but he did not accept Akbar's policy. The blend of Mughal and Rajput culture evolved during this period, providing the foundation of a strong and stable Mughal empire. So, with the help of Mughal and Rajput healthy relationship, due to this, the Mughal empire was more strong and stable, and with the help of Rajput, Mughal had made the foundation of a Mughal empire in India. Okay, and in this picture in page number 172, this is India under Akbar. So these areas which you can see in the yellowish portion in this map of India, these areas are the places or territories which are captured by the famous ruler of Mughal period, that is Akbar. So as you can see, the whole north section was under the Akbar empire.